A good experienced agent would like to come in and actually share with you some of the different angles, perspective, insights, so that you have the fullest perspective to make an informed decision. Hi guys, welcome to another Real Talk Real Estate episode. And today I would like to share with you some of the pros and cons of buying your own home by yourself. And obviously I will be very, very genuine with you guys. This episode is totally free. You do not need to pay for the information that what I'm about to share with you. And obviously every agent would like to have more buyer clients to actually serve. My purpose is actually to share with you genuine information so that you can make an informed decision whether you would need an agent in purchasing your new home. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So obviously, when buying your own home, right, what is the pros? The pros is that actually you can have direct negotiation with the seller agent, or sometimes if the seller is a direct seller, which is quite rare nowadays, you can actually control the entire negotiation by yourself. And some of you guys are even in sales trade yourself. I think you guys are even better negotiators than some of us in this trade. So why not handle the negotiation by yourself? And obviously, the second reason is the potential cost savings. Like, for example, if you were to buy a HDB and the buyer agent commission is 1% plus GST, that is potentially cost savings for you. So why don't you just keep that money into your pocket and maybe use it for renovation in future? And if let's say you're going to purchase a private property, the buyer agent can actually co-broke with the seller agent. But then some thoughts will come to mind is that why don't I can just let the seller agent know that, oh, since I don't have a buyer agent, why don't you reduce your commission so that you can, so all these thoughts would definitely come into your mind if you are savvy enough. So obviously, the third point, you have greater control. So obviously, for some, there's satisfaction in managing every aspect of the property hunt, the negotiation. At the end of the day, everything is done by yourself from step one all the way to the end. So obviously, there's some satisfaction in that. And I know some of you viewers out there are very, very keen to organize and do everything by yourself. So what are the realities and pitfalls of actually buying your own property by yourself then? These first 3 pointers is so enticing. So why don't you just do it by yourself? So obviously, one of it will be the time and effort. By the time you can actually find the right unit, right, based on the current supply of listing, which is, sometimes there's a lot to actually view, or some areas that you're actually considering, different clusters, different locations. So by the time you actually reach the right listing, right, it's too late. It's sold. Therefore, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that you have to work really fast. You have to organize your viewings efficiently. And then you might be thinking, I have a lot of time, so why don't I just take my time in viewing? Because time is money. Because at the end of the day, if we are looking to save money, then you have to quickly find the right unit by shortlisting. So where an experienced agent is that we know that which clusters have or which unit is actually currently listing at a more reasonable price. So why don't we view those units first? And we also know that some of your requirements, revolves around like the layout. And for example, in Tampines, if you want an open concept kitchen MOP unit, there's probably like 3 or 4 clusters only. So why are we looking at the other clusters first? So we have to be very, very focused. So that's where the experienced agent will come in to help you save time. But obviously, if you're just, at the start of the initial shopping, obviously you can take your time and just view the units first. But that's just one point of having an experienced agent. The second point links very closely to what I've just shared, which is the market knowledge gap. So at the end of the day, if let's say you're having some requirement, you have a price in mind that you do not want to exceed this budget, then obviously the market knowledge is very important, because leading to what I've just said, time is of the essence, where prices are moving up on a constant basis, hopefully more gradual for buyers by the time I'm making this video. It's very, very important that you guys can be laser focused on the areas, the units that, best meet your requirements. So that's what an agent would do for you, a good one. So obviously the legal, the contractual challenges, sellers comes in all shapes and forms, different requirements out there. For HDB, there is a standard contract, obviously. But for private property, sometimes they have insert different clauses in very sneakily. So it's something that if you do not know what's the market standards, right, then sometimes you'll be in a disadvantage. So there is something that I've caught a few times, and I question some of the seller agent that actually insert some clauses that wasn't isn't very fair for buyers, that is something that a good agent will have to call that out for you. Then obviously, overlooking value. Because sometimes, for example, I give you two train of thoughts. I may get bashed after saying this, but truthfully, in the HDB market right now, the most dominant subject matter is obviously whether there is COV. But at the end of the day, what causes COV? COV means that the valuation did not match the purchase price at the end of the day. But the thing is, if let's say the house is actually renovated and you can actually save on renovation, that might be a good deal. And also, if that area did not have many sellers selling as compared to other clusters, you may realize that although you pay a COV, but then the total quantum is actually lower than the surrounding project. So that could be also undervalued in that sense. But obviously, the main general rule is to try to get a property without COV. That's the general rule. But a good experienced agent would like to come in and actually share with you some of the different angles, perspective, insights, so that you have the fullest perspective to make an informed decision. So basically, agents may be working with some owners, or they have team members that are having new listings, right? Because we are in group chats and stuff like that, you can actually have first dip of the market. And obviously, coming back to this point is that we are monitoring the market consistently. And I do feel that some of our direct buyers are even quicker than us, to actually forward listings to them. But at the end of the day, I think it's like, you want to make sure that you leave no stones unturned, no listings unturned. You make sure that you have seen every single opportunity of a listing that fits your requirements, so that you can make a more informed decision. And then obviously, the negotiation skills that is needed to actually discuss timeline, discuss finance with the seller agent. If you're a direct buyer, sometimes, especially if this is your first home that you're actually transacting, right? Or even if it's your second, or even if it's your third home, right? The problem is that we are dealing with a seller agent who most likely have sold more than 3 units. We have more experience in his belt. The seller is counting on him to actually transact. But if it's a direct seller, then obviously we have to work around with their timeline, the financing, how do you actually make sense of it so that they can actually meet your timeline as well, and also be more reasonable with the pricing. So how do you do that? Obviously, that comes with a negotiation and experience from an agent. So I think at the end of the day, a lot of services out there, not only real estate, I think a lot of clients actually really love the guided journey. So really hand-holding you, from the start to finish, because I know you guys are very hardworking people, especially in Singapore. There's a lot of things going on beyond your work. You have to take care of your family, and then now you're making this very, very big move, right? And then you have to depend on yourself to handle from step one all the way to make the move. So that can be a very, very stressful journey. And I do know that, many of you guys, we are just here to actually make benefit and also keep more funds for our family, go more holidays or keep aside for a rainy day. But at the end of the day, an experienced agent, right, if they can actually negotiate the price for you in a very good price, and at the end of the day, it justifies the commission. Plus, you get the handheld guided experience throughout the entire journey. That will make you less stress-free. So I thought, it can give you to, our last point for today, which is the peace of mind that if you have an agent, you can just be very, very focused on just seeing whether this home is really what you and your family like. Then at the end of the day, we will just let you know that, okay, this is what the best deal we can get, whether our timeline can match or not. If we cannot, then we just have to find another listing. There is something that a handheld guided journey can actually help you with. So just a final closing for this. I mean, you can buy a property without an agent, absolutely. But like all things, it comes with its challenges. And obviously, if you have time, expertise, and the risk appetite, then, you should definitely go for it, because at the end of the day, you are searching for your own home and you know best of what you're actually looking for. But, for those who actually prefer like a guided, informed, and hassle-free experience, then you just consider, having an experienced agent to buy your side. I really believe that, you might benefit very well from it. So remember, at the end of the day, it's all about choices, right? And that's what we want to give to you in Real Talk Real Estate episode. I really, really want to give you my unbiased opinion over here. And thank you so much for tuning in this episode. I hope you find your new home very, very soon. As usual, give me a call, text. It's totally free. If you want to find out a little bit more whether you should actually buy a property by yourself, I promise you, I only give you the true advice, the real advice. So thank you for tuning in for the Real Talk Real Estate. We'll see you for the next one.